just give you an example of how this would work. So let's go to, so this is just a simple Excel report created by pulling all the data out, and we're going to look at sales, maybe by company, by fiscal year, by sales rep, by territory, and then the sales that have occurred every month. Now, the main advantage of these kinds of reports is that if you see something funny, like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense, it's a negative $1,000, you can double-click, and it takes you right down to the source transactions. So I can see what order it was booked on, what's the pack list, what's the invoice, and then off to the side, what were the products or services that you were selling. So this kind of information is very, very nice from the ability to quickly filter and find out what's happening. You can see as I begin to filter on Tony, I can see without displaying the territory that Tony only sells in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. When he clicks on Southeast, I can see that he's only selling this customer in January. This kind of report could be, or the capability is you can create multiple versions or different reports from one source cube. So you can see down at the bottom, I just have different worksheets that represent the different kinds of information that I want. So this one, this report is looking at, just clear out the filters, this is looking at sales as it occurs by day, by maybe comparing different branches or different divisions or different product lines, as it compares on a month-to-month basis, a quarterly basis, and a year-to-date basis. The same concept is that these slicers can control 4 levels of detail simultaneously. You can add variations. So when I click on Insert, you'll see a section over here called Slicers. And this allows me to add in more information to give me a different view of the information. So if I wanted to, I could say, well, I want to sort by type. Oh, I have type of product. Well, I don't know. Maybe by part ID. So put part ID up on the screen, and I'll just move it up off to the side. And as I begin, you can see that it's going to start filtering that part list to the point where I can start filtering in and then maybe going back out and saying, well, show me all the sales of this particular product. So it's this ability of being able to include literally any field that you have in your database can now be reported and analyzed. You'll see to show you some other examples, and then I'll go and create one for you. So I have, this is a very popular one, customer contribution. So what did we sell? What was the cost? What was the margin by customer? And then, because all the information's there, you can start doing this kind of analysis by part, or by product code, or by territory, or by sales rep. Gives you this capability. You have to know a little bit about Excel and a little bit about pivot tables to create these reports. Pivot tables aren't too hard. This is the starting point of it. Basically, it allows you to drag and drop information into a matrix. So as an example, I'm going to grab this column called sales amount, and I'll drop it into the values, and then I'll go and I'll start grabbing, let's say, sales reps. And then maybe I want to see a matrix of sales rep by type of product. So all of a sudden, I get a good picture of what's happening. And then, this is just Excel, so I just need to tidy up the decimals. So I'm going to go in and just format the number to a currency. I typically don't show the decimals. There we go. So we have a nice report, or the beginning of a nice report. And now I'm going to insert and just drag down the columns a little bit so that I can put in my slicers. So my slicers might be fiscal year, fiscal quarter, and maybe I'll put in customer as well. Okay, so now that the slices are added, I just have to maneuver them a little bit. Let's drag that down. Put that up. Move that up. And this one I'm going to just change some of the properties of it. Just added some more columns. There we go. So now I can begin analyzing my sales as it occurs by sales rep and type of product, now by year, now by quarter, and then you can see automatically it's telling me what customer. You can, of course, do things, these are just standard Excel functions to put in conditional formatting. So if you're like me, just staring at a number doesn't quite make sense, but putting on the color scales, it helps to kind of pinpoint the good and the bad. And then obviously, if you find something out of line, you simply double click, and it's going to take you down to those source level transactions. So the main features or the main capability here to keep in mind is that this is just Excel, so you should be able to build your own reports, different types of reports very, very quickly, and the formatting is also done in Excel, so it doesn't take any specialized skills. I used to do a lot of the reporting for a company 10 years ago, and the average report, it would take me about a day to create an average report, just a standard report, or even a report like this. And that was simply because the tool sets at the time, they were kind of clunky. They weren't as refined as what you're seeing here. Now, this report is great if you're knowledgeable of Excel, but a lot of times I create these reports and we send them out to people, and then they come into a meeting with, I'll call it, a different version of the truth. So I don't know how to use Excel, and I don't know the difference between the fiscal year, and so I'll come into the meeting with a completely different number. And this is not a good practice if people can't use Excel. And so the best way to deal with the non-Excel users in your company, or to prevent manipulation of information that you need to run the company, is the use of what is called SSRS.